Okay.
It's nice holding a mic again. It's a long time since I've done this.
It's been a while, isn't it? Yeah. Hello and welcome to Colin Bradley Artcast. I'm Stephen Bradley.
And I'm Colin Bradley.
I can't remember the last time we did a podcast in person like this, holding a mic.
I know.
Long time.
It's a long time ago. I was a lot younger then.
I had a lot less kids then.
That's right. You did.
And it's been a while since we last did one anyway, and I'm aware of that, and I was trying to make it work, but also, juggle everything, life and 2 kids and an announcement. We've got another one on the way, so since we last recorded, so we're going to have 3 under 4, so it's going to be absolutely chaos. But I wanted to get together and do these, but also refresh them a bit and rejuvenate them and give them kind of a different purpose, because we've been doing this podcast for 12 years, nearly 13 years, and we had a few breaks, and it's been the same thing. And what I really loved about our earlier episodes is when I would chat to you about your career and where you were starting out, and you would tell us the stories, and I'm sure everyone else really enjoyed those episodes too. So even though I don't want to go over old ground, I wanted to bring it back to sort of a more interview style, because I think there's more wisdom there, Dad, that we can pluck out and use and hear. So I thought I'd start off this, and this is going to be a limited series run of episodes. We'll record some, we'll take a break, and then we'll do some more, rather than just to set people's expectations, rather than every week. We're going to have more of a purpose to these episodes and podcasts. So in this first episode of kind of a new series, I wanted to ask you some questions that I am personally curious about relating to your art career. So the first question I want to ask is, what would you have done if you hadn't got back into art and pursued it as a career? Because obviously people, if they heard the earlier episodes, they know what happened. You chose to, these people validated your work, and you realised, there's something there, and you went full into it and got the gallery and everything. But what do you think would have happened if you didn't get that validation and you didn't pursue art, and would you have continued to do it as a hobby, do you think?
Do you know, I've absolutely no idea. I don't like to think about it too much, because my future was in art, and I knew that quite early on, but I didn't know how it was going to work out. I had the idea that the original business I had, which was carpet cleaning and supply, was okay, but then the person who was working for me give up, and I thought, well, do I really want to go back and do it all myself again, which I had done just right? I thought, not really, no. So that's when I turned to my hobby, really, which was art. I used to love art and just dabbling, really. And but from there onwards, really, it kind of snowballed. And then I thought, a good friend of mine had his own gallery anyway, and he said to me, why don't you start up yourself? I said, well, I don't know. He said, well, I'll help you. And he did. He gave me all the help and advice that I needed. And I thought, yeah, okay, well, let's give it a go. Because I started off as a salesman. I was trained as a salesman from a young lad. So I loved meeting people, and I loved the concept of being able to sell paintings or my artwork and the other things that I had. So that's how it really started out.
Yeah.
But I don't like to think about it too much, that if I hadn't done it, no idea where I'd have been now.
Because I think you've always... No, you've not always been self-employed. But when did you remember when you started your own carpet cleaning business?
Yes, indeed. What it was the carpet cleaning and supply business that I had didn't start out like that. I was working as a rep for an industrial company, Reckitt and Coleman. People probably would remember that if they were old. and they had salesmen that travelled around the country and sold there and represented their products. And I was doing that for a while, and I was quite enjoying that. In the course of that, though, one of my customers said to me one day, "You know, I'm thinking of taking on a partner. Are you interested?" Because he knew that I'd already been using the materials for the cleaning side. And I said, "Well, yeah." Anyway, I looked into it and decided to do it. So I gave up the repping and ended up with doing this. So but the carpet cleaning and supply didn't come then. I introduced that
as a service, as like an additional service
yes,
part of the business.
That's right, yes. And my partner said, "Well, that's a good idea, Colin. Yeah, let's go down that road." So we did, and it became very successful. We bought all the materials, all the equipment, and
did you have a van?
It was my baby, really.
Was it?
Yeah, and then eventually, circumstances were such that we had to split the company up. He took on and carried on with the cleaning side, and contract cleaning. It was quite extensive as well, in Hertfordshire and Kent and London. It's quite a big one. And he took that on, and by that time, I'd worked the carpet cleaning and supply to a very reasonable sort of income level. So I said, "Well, I'll take that on." So I split. I became that and got my own van and did that for a little while. And then, again, the circumstances were such that I had to take somebody on to do that work for me. And that's how it all started. So really, at that point in time, Steve, that's a bit of potted history, but that's how I came to end up doing the...
So you had someone working for you. Mm. So you'd sort of taken a step back from doing all of the actual cleaning yourself and presumably enjoyed that backseat, running the business, could enjoy
I became the governor.
Do you think, so it was sort of, did you say that the person that was working for you was leaving? So that kind of was a natural end for that business?
Yes, because he was very good. He was a brilliant employee, and I thought I could have got somebody else. I could have advertised and got somebody else, but I thought I'm not going to get anybody as good as him, or it was risky, and I wasn't going to risk the business. Because I used to go occasionally, I used to go out on jobs with him or and so on.
And do it as well? You would do the cleaning and everything as well?
Yeah. Still, but it was a rare thing. It was all insane. And then, again, by sheer luck, another friend of mine said to me, "I understand you want to give up your business." I said, "Yeah, well, I do. I'm thinking of selling it on." "Well, you know what? I'd love to buy that. I want to give up my job, which is very stressful, and that would fit in really well with my plans." I said, "Great, let's shake on it." So we did. He bought me out. He bought me the van and everything else, and which gave me a little bit of capital, and that capital then propelled me into the business that I love, and ended up where I am now.
Wow. Was there any point when you started that, the gallery, and you sort of made the decision to become a full-time artist? Because I think even now, people, you know, if they have a normal 9-to-5 job and they think, "I want to go full-time," that's scary. Right? That's terrifying. And in a lot of creative industries, deciding to go full-time or all in on your creative pursuits. I know you had a little bit of capital and you were able to get the gallery and everything like that, but there must have been a lot of fear around that risk of, what is this going to work? Am I going to do it? What happens if it doesn't work?
Do you know, I never thought of that.
Really?
Never entered my head. The reason I think it works so well is because I had a good teacher, really, in my friend who was running his own gallery very successfully. He was a good artist, a very good artist himself. And he encouraged me, really, and that encouragement, and I didn't, at that particular time when I took the gallery on, I didn't realise that I would turn out to be what I am. But because of the, when you have a shop, which is basically what it was, and you're sort of standing around waiting for customers to come in, that would be boring as hell. But it didn't happen like that because I was working all the time. When people didn't come in or weren't there, I was working. They come in, I stopped working. They went out, I carried on working. So it was, and I was
good use of your time.
But I was producing products that people liked with the prints and so on that I did. So it never really entered my head that this wasn't going to be successful. But I didn't realise that it was going to end up for me actually being an artist and a demonstrator and a teacher.
So you were seeing it as, I'm going to run a shop and I'm going to sell.
That's exactly, and I thought that's how it was going to be.
Yeah. The attention wasn't on the actual creative pursuit. It was like the product, what I can sell.
Mm.
Yeah.
And all the while people were buying my prints, which they were. That was very successful. That was what I was doing is pen and ink prints and then washing with watercolour. Very inexpensive because they were prints, they weren't the originals. And this was very successful, so I thought it would carry on, and no reason. And I was selling pictures as well, so
you were used to a shop environment, right? From Burton's and tailoring and,
That's right.
like you say, personable. You'd had all of these foundation skills that had built you to be very confident in a shop environment and selling.
That's right.
And I suppose, with that amount of experience that you had at that point, you're just changing the product, aren't you? It's suits,
Absolutely.
it's carpet cleaning, it's art and pencils. Do you think all of that shaped who you became as an artist and a presenter? Because, you used to demonstrate and be in front of a lot of people, and you have to have a certain amount of charisma and confidence to be able to, handle a room full of people and questions and multitasking and doing your art. Do you think all of those skills turned you, transferred into that? And do you think you had an easier time getting into that world because of all of those previous skills?
Well, it's interesting because my wife and I were talking about this the other day. Your mum and I were chatting away about this, and I brought it back that she was a great help to me, a wonderful inspiration to me, and she encouraged me to do it. Had it not been for that, I wouldn't have done. But I'd mentioned to her at the time that I'd always wanted to be an actor. That was something I wanted to do. I would have loved to have been. I'd never have been any good at it, but you've taken it over from me.
I must have.
But I loved it, and I thought, it would be lovely. And so, in a way, I fulfilled that side of my personality. And I found as soon as I stood up and talked to people, especially about a subject which I love, and ended up being good at, well, what could you ask?
Yeah.
I mean, it was wonderful.
Acting, presenting, getting in front of people.
That's
yeah.
right. That's right.
A
lot of people fight shy of public speaking. I never had a problem with that because I thought, so I just did it. And I was, as I say, very successful at it, which is good.
So if you hadn't become, just to circle back, if you hadn't become an artist, I wonder if you'd become an actor.
No, I wouldn't. No, I would never have been. I would never have been any good at that. Not professionally. Possibly the amateur stakes, I don't know. I never got a chance.
No.
I preferred to do what I did.
It was safe. You knew it.
Oh,
you were good at it. You had that validated. So, ticked all the right boxes.
Mm-hmm.
Now, obviously, that presumably was a very fulfilling part of the job, like going out and getting in front of people and talking to them about what you love and inspiring people, which you continue to do, now.
That's right.
Even though it's isolated to the internet and the studio and things, there's still a lot of those skills that you use in every class you teach and every recording and everything that you do. Now, because that's such a fulfilling part, was that what was this kind of juxtaposition of that in terms of you having to go away, you know, all the bad parts of that side of it? Because I know you've spoken to me in the past about having to travel, you know, to be away for long periods of time and all of that kind of thing. You know, you've got one side which is the kind of like actors on tour, right? You know, actors go and they perform and they love it. Yeah. But equally, the opposite side of that is I've got to go and do it. You've got to go somewhere and do it. So was that hard? You know, you had the fulfillment of doing it and
no. I would say not. Because of the fulfillment of being able to do that, to demonstrate and do the things that I did, far outweighed the inconveniences. Yeah, I used to be, oh God, I've got to travel up to Flatford Mill again. And it was a bit of a bore from here to there. But once I got to Flatford Mill, I was in my element. I loved it. And I didn't really want to give that up, but I had to because retirement came along and I thought, this is the time to move on. And then you came along, really, and we started this wonderful business of ours, which has been very fulfilling. So I think I would say that I've been really lucky. And no, none of that, there was never any bad side. There's a bit of, you know, inconvenient to do it. I didn't, but I enjoyed it, and I loved it. I loved travelling to London and spending days on the floor, on the meeting people. It's all about meeting people.
Very social. You made it a very social career.
And the other thing too, which was very satisfying, and I was very lucky that I was never really a big head. Well, at least I don't think I was anyway. I never thought of myself as being like, I wasn't a show-off. But what I did, my pictures and the work that I did inspired people. They came along and the accolades kept coming out. Oh, what a lovely picture. Oh, you are clever. All these things. Now, in the end, that you take it on board, but really it's never allowed it to affect me.
It's not way. I suppose it's like what gives you that dopamine rush, what gives you that buzz, and that didn't give you the buzz. The buzz was getting in front of people and showing people what, you know, presumably what they could do and inspiring them and talking about it and that social side of things.
I think too, because of the reaction that I got from people, you realise that you were doing a good job. The job itself was
praise. You're getting
praise. Helping people, and thousands and thousands of, I don't know how many people have benefited from the knowledge that I imparted.
Yeah. Okay, well, I think I'll end this episode there because I think we talked a lot about that, and we'll talk about something in our next episode. So if you want to follow us for more episodes and subscribe and like and comment and do all those lovely things, that would be really nice. And let us know what you think of this new format, and we'll come back for another episode next time.
Lovely.